Mama, what's cooking? Winky face. Okay, I've got a joke. What did Cinderella do when she got to the ball?
What?
She gagged. Winky face.
Oh my God, just stop.
That's what she tried to do.
Alright, ladies, gentlemen, and racist pieces in between, this is your motherfucking Spick, Soul Papo, back at it again with another week's episode for your mother flipping stinky ass. And I will gotta say that as short as my skin is black, there is gonna be a new I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast this Saturday, March 4th. If you on the YouTubes, then you can tune in live. If not, then I'm sure you can catch it on the Podomatics, on the Stitches, on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud. So keep tuned for that. So since today, by the time of this recording, it's March 1st, I kind of missed the boat on the last day of Black History Month, so I kind of wanted to wrap some things up. And if Verse listens to this, and I'm hoping his ass can bring it up and tell me his 2 cents. But I wanted to just really bring up about, and obviously, you know, I'm definitely raised baiting all the shit that I'm talking about, but one of the people who you can say was doing that, or at least wanting to, you know, cause a cultural appropriation, Rachel Dolezal, who you might have known her as a former NAACP, whatever the fuck she was. Y'all can look her up, but she's pretty much a white woman who, I don't know, she just was touched by the black community. And I'm not just saying, you know, jungle fever, but I mean, she, you know, embraced herself so much to where she considered herself black. Not African American, but she considered herself black. She even wrote a book, and I think it's barely about to be released. But long story short, she's been shunned from her family, you know, for pretty much disowning them. So they in fact disowned her, just as if she would have got with a black guy. You know, you would have been disowned that way. Why'd you have to go ahead and lie about your race? You say you dabble in the black arts. But anyways, I started I mean, it's fucked up because, I mean, no one wants to be broken without any dough. But she currently is broke, unemployed, apparently on welfare. So I'm just wondering myself, like, after all that shit about seeing herself as a black woman, I'm just wondering, it's hella racist, but now that she's on welfare, I wonder if now she feels the struggle, or if she's gonna cash in that white privilege check. So we shall see. But one last thing that I wanted to fucking bring up, and it probably might have been the most, like, you know, slap to the face yet, as far as, I mean, well, I don't know, the Rachel Dolezal shit's pretty far up there, but I think it's ABC who hosts The Bachelor, Bachelorette. There, for the first time in history, and this is considered historic, they're gonna have their first black bachelorette. So in the whole 15 years of, you know, that industry being around, you know, they're finally gonna, is it been 15 years? Holy shit. Yeah, so for as long as it has been, she's finally gonna have, you know, her own little bachelorette episode. So I'm not too sure what kind of colorful cast of characters they're gonna have. I'm not too sure if maybe this is their way of trying to keep up with, you know, True Love and Hip Hop or Empire or whatever other black shows there are that have become such a big hit. But, you know, this might be cashing in on that check. Now, she was like top 4 from whatever episode of The Bachelor she was, or whatever season that was. Her dad is the attorney of Texas, or he's an attorney general, or I think her mom was a teacher. So I mean, so she comes from some, you know what I'm saying, from a good family. I don't know at what point or what part, or, you know, how you would end up like on a reality TV show, or if you actually see this as a way of finding love, or again just a way to kind of get 15 minutes to sell a certain product. Again, I can't quite call it, but they're definitely fucking cashing in on that shit. So one thing that I can't wait to see, and I mean, I'm probably not gonna be watching the show because shit, I don't even catch SNL most of the time. So I'm lucky enough to be able to catch it on the YouTubes. But I am curious and interested to see who her sponsors are gonna be, because usually that's how you can tell, you know, what kind of brand you have, or again, you know, how or what someone feels like they could sell you to. For example, one of my favorite comedians, Whitney Cummings, very smart, very witty, very beautiful. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Lady who, you know, sometimes kind of says some naughty things when she had her episode, or her Comedy Central. I think it was Our Comedy, because I know she's had some other shits, but she had one on Comedy Central, and they were just publicizing like Adam and Eve, or little, you know, not S&M sort of shits, but you know, sex things, toys, commercials, to let you know, okay, well, if a girl who's watching this at midnight, I'm pretty sure she's either a horny bitch or a lonely bitch. So it just, and I'm not saying that that's how I see them as, because she's, I mean, even though she herself is in fact single and a dog person or animal lover, rescuer, whatever the hell you would want to call it, she fits a certain criteria. And unfortunately, we all kind of fit those criteria. That's why Facebook and whatever social media bullshit that you're on, which I told you to get off of, is trying to sell you, because they said they have your information. They know what you like, what you're into, and what you might be willing to pay for. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how that shit goes. And you can bet my bottom dollar I ain't giving that goddamn cent. You know? But either way, I digress. And today, again, being March 1st, yesterday being February 28th, yesterday was Fat Tuesday, or as other motherfuckers would call MardiGras, which I wasn't too exactly sure what the whole point of it was, other than bitches showing the titties, getting beads, people drinking discolored looking alcohol in the streets, dancing, throwing up, shitting in the middle of the road. I thought that was the whole point. I thought that's the whole reason why Louisiana is the way that it is, and why, you know what I'm saying, God felt the need to dam them and, you know, kind of flip over the literal dam and let the water just rush in and cleanse out the wickedness. Like, I thought that was the whole point. And I guess similar to that, Mardi Gras is just a day of celebration that, again, is just more notable down in Louisiana because it's literally a state holiday, and people, they kind of let loose and get all the major sins out the way, because the day after, today, Wednesday, is considered Ash Wednesday. So it's more of a Catholic sort of thing, but I think even some Christian religions or demographics, or not demographics, but demonstrations? What the fuck's the word? Denominations. A couple of them types, you know, they include themselves with it too. I even felt the fuck it's and wanted to do so, you know, saying the love of Jesus, and hopefully to even cleanse myself of my wickedness for a little while. And yeah, so I wanted to kind of over some of the big things in Mardi Gras, because again, I still don't quite understand it. I still don't fucking get it. I don't see the big deal about King's Cake. Apparently that's the thing. It's some really ugly looking, apparently international sort of cakes. It's just a mixture of all this. Just like, again, it's just one of those things you can really hop up and, you know, really let your blood sugar just, you know, go rampant, because a lot of people, when they, you know, and they're for Lent, they'll give up sugar or a sweet, or, you know, something of nature, something that's gonna be real easy for themselves to say that they sacrificed. And motherfucker, you ain't no sacrifices unless, you know, you usually listen to the end of the shows here each episode. But another big deal is that, again, it is an actual state holiday in Louisiana, to where literally, you know, you're allowed to be drinking in the streets. Normally you do that shit anywhere else, it's called being drunk and disorderly. But no, on that particular day, it's okay. I mean, shit, this motherfucker's literally chanting, running down the streets of fucking with torches and shit, like as if they're, you know, getting ready for a lynching. And back in the day, that was the only formal way of getting light. Now, you know, of course, there's electricity in that motherfucker when it isn't flooded, but again, something that kind of kept the tradition going, almost kind of like the Olympic thing, except there's not really much honor in it, at least not from my understanding. Another thing that was really weird is that they're required to wear masks as long as, you know, they're like performers or on the floats. Like, I'm not too sure what the big point of protecting your identity is, but one of the dope things about it is the fact that you could be interacting. I mean, shit, you could be fucking some random person when you're drunk off your ass and not exactly know their nationality, so that you're not racist or something of that nature. Another big thing that I just did not understand, this really mind-boggled me, because I thought this was literally the whole point. Like, I never understood anything else from all the years of being a kid, having to watch the infomercials to, what the fuck was it called? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. It was a dude, he has his own island now, he'll get bitches to show their titties. Girls Gone Wild. See, I thought the whole point, or the whole realm of how that shit worked out, was because bitches would flash their tits, people would throw beads at them. Apparently, flashing is illegal, whether you're a man or a female. So I never quite understood that. I don't see why there's still people, you know, with so many beads, and I don't know if that's just kind of like, you know, a low-key tradition that people still kind of would do, just make sure the cops ain't looking. I mean, who fucking knows? That's a town of wickedness, and with all that black mambo jumbo magic mojo flojo.
All that
Fuck them all.
But God bless you. So it being like I said, the very beginning of March, and we just let go of February, letting go of Black History Month, even though, we only gave you 28 days, we made you share with women. I did want to kind of give a last little shout out to just some of the, I don't know if you'd call it nuances or ironies of the shit that I just had to tag along with last month. But, The Bachelorette, if you're familiar with the reality TV show The Bachelor, that was a spinoff, and I really don't watch the shit. It's been on, I don't know that it's been on ABC for over 15 years now, so really don't fuck with what works kind of formula is never as evident as it is here. But they're finally, for the first time, gonna have a black bachelorette, however the fuck you say that shit. So the thing that caught me by surprise is I'm thinking, is this pandering to people? Like, is this them trying to get, because she was the number 4 contestant, or left the top 4, and it doesn't really matter, I guess, what level you leave at, because if you're a star, you're a star. Same thing we'll see with a lot of the American Idol people. A lot of the people who didn't win top prize ended up having semi-successful careers. I think the biggest one may be Carrie Underwood, maybe even Kelly Clarkson. Ruben Studdard had one. Motherfucker didn't have as long as a career as Clay Aiken, who was number 2. So, or I don't know if I have that shit reversed, and I really can't remember. But this is considered to be historic, and I just wonder, like, what kind of position do you have to be in, though, to be on reality TV? Because her parents are, pretty successful. I mean, her mom was a teacher, and then her daddy was like the attorney general for Texas. Her name is Rachel Lindsay, if you want to look her up, or maybe by the time this shit's airing, I'm not too sure. But I couldn't give up the fact that I'm wondering, ABC's probably thinking to themselves, we really need we need to be in the Negro Leagues here, people. UPN has everything that they have, whatever the hell has Empire or Scandal, or I don't know which ones that, and then your VH1s, which are real hip hop bitches and shit like that. You gotta understand, women and African Americans are the biggest consumers. Now, whether you want to say it's because they waste money or because they out there living, I mean, either which way, they out there spending, and they could, and obviously just how hip hop, became a main staple, obviously originating from, the Bronx and all that shit. I can't, forgive me, don't quite get me in these facts. It's pretty early the day of this recording, but it sells. Just how sex would sell, so does, adding some color onto it. Not if you want to have a white supremacist buy that shit, but yes, if you want to have usually soccer moms and, people of the urban youth, which I feel it sounds hella racist, and I don't make the fucking rules, it's just the way it is, and that's what sells. And one thing that her book's about to release, so I'm not too sure if it does sell exactly. But do y'all remember Rachel Dolezal? She was a former NAACP. I forgot what the fuck she was, the head of the whatever the hell. I don't know. She was in the NAACP. That I remember. I remember she was a white woman who tried to pose as if she was black, and she had been outed by her family because her family's fully fucking white. If you look at old pictures of her before she got a tan and crimped her hair, totally fucking white. She literally is damn near wearing blackface, and we talked about it a lot on Black He's Mexican podcast. If you want to look that shit up, I think we've named episodes after her. But one thing that's kind of the ironic, kind of funny twist about it is that now she's unemployed, and I'm not too sure if people just didn't respect her over the conversion. She's out of work. I've mentioned that. I'm sorry, unemployed, out of work, same shit. She's broke, according to her, and I think she might be on welfare. So I'm not too sure if this is her fully going black. To know what the struggle is, to be a real sister with wild hair up in the lines while babies is crying, you trying to get your milk and cheese. I really don't know. And a lot of people are saying she should just cash in on that white privilege, but they say once you go black, you can never go back. So I'm not too sure if that's what this means. But again, she has a book releasing. I forget the name of it. Don't give no fucks. I talked about it before, but I had to mention her here in honor of the ending and goodbye of Black History Month. So yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, and as wrong as it sounds, I'm saying I've been shaped and I've been formed and I've been programmed and reprogrammed, and I'm seeing all these things. Obviously, gonna have a way in how I think and how I value and shit like that. But just know that that is a systemic kind of thing. Kids, when they're young, they don't know anything about that. My oldest, Tony, Big Dick Baloney, this motherfucker, he is dark as night. And, you know, he doesn't see the sheer, you know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily my blood, but blood doesn't mean shit, and blood couldn't make us any closer. He doesn't, I mean, he can see the certain differences, but he doesn't let that shit sway him. And biggest example, too, is he has a little teacher assistant, right? Well, a few teacher assistants, and she's a black lady, or African American lady, however you want to say it. I'm not going to be PC, this is my fucking show. And we had asked her, because we didn't know what her name was. You know, we knew of Miss Virginia, which one would assume that's the black lady. No. Miss Elizabeth, no, that wasn't her. She was the beaner one. So I was like, well, what's the black lady's name? You know, so we asked him, and he was like, black? Like, he literally didn't fucking know. Like, he was like, shoes? I'm like, no, motherfucker, not her shoes. Like, and then that's when I realized, like, he doesn't know race. He just fucking plays. Kids they play with one another, unless you yourself are telling them you're black, you're white, you're Mexican, you're this, you're that, which honestly we haven't really done. He doesn't know how to define that shit, you know what I'm saying? And even when I use the word nigga around him, you know, he just thinks I'm talking to him, because usually that's when I yell at him, like, pick this up, pick that up, you know, something that or another. But he doesn't know that that's words associated with oppression or with, you know, definition, or that it's used to, you know, either in I can't even think of my excuse that I usually use in terms of endearment. He doesn't. Oh, that's how. I don't think he understands that as. He doesn't know that it was described once to define a certain color. So, like I said, when I asked him what's that black lady's name, he just was so fucking confused. Like black. Like he thinks the color black. But we all know that unless you're Nigerian, you ain't that black. So, again, all pre-programmed sort of shit. I mean, it really stems with us. Children are literally the future, and if we don't instill that kind of, you know, I don't know, classism or just clear definition and labeling of things, they can literally live free. And I just wonder, without restraints, without restrictions, without hesitation and prejudgments, imagine all the energy that we could focus on something positive. You know, if I wasn't so full of hate, shit, I might have been a good pastor.